Hello and welcome to our cottage garden. It is such a beautiful autumnal day here in the Northeast, and I'm so excited for this video because while it is kind of sad to put the borders to bed, we are going to be putting our cottage borders to bed today, and then I'm going to be giving you a tour, so stick around until the end of the video because we're going to be doing a tour of our cottage garden. So a few nights ago we had a really hard frost and it took all of our dahlias, our morning glory, it took a lot of our annuals. I mean, the cosmos started blooming the day after the hard frost. So there's some sort of mixed wiring happening there. They're a little confused. They look crazy and very leggy, but they're finally having some color on them, which is fun. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful time of year. This is probably one of the most brilliant days that we've seen. It's just so warm, and just the golden light through the trees is like, we live in a deciduous woodland on the side of a mountain, and so all of this is just golden leaves all throughout. There's birch trees and maples and oaks. So it's just a really gorgeous time of year. So what we're going to be doing is raking. That's such a huge chore when you live in a deciduous woodland. I mean, it's like every single day you get just dumped on by the leaves. Especially if it's a little bit windy, it just gets crazy. We're going to be doing some raking. We're going to be cutting back some annuals. We're going to be cutting back a few perennials. We are going to just sort of tidy up the borders. We might be doing a little bit of mulching with our leaf mold and compost. And there might be some moving of plants. Yeah, I think generally we're just going to tidy things up. We've been sort of letting things go, especially since that hard frost. We might start to dig up dahlias. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let's do this thing. Anna, the samurai. So I hurt my back and I sort of pulled it, I think. So I'm just doing my best to kind of stay standing straight, although right now I'm having to bend to talk to you. But yeah, I'm having to sort of stay straight and just be careful with my back. So Bert has been awesome and doing a lot. So I made a little wreath out of some wisteria that we have growing over there. And I made just sort of like a miniature wreath out of that while I was just sitting and waiting. Because if I wait a few minutes, my back usually feels better. But anyway, I'm gonna start raking. Wish me luck. So here is some of our cerinthe. We still have this in bloom and it's going to seed. So I might collect these seeds. Can you see? But yeah, isn't that gorgeous? I love these. So that's still blooming on the hill. Say hi, Georgie. Okay, so I really can't tell if it looks like we've done a lot, but we've been working for several hours. Had to take a little bit of a break and sit down because I kind of pulled my back. But I think we got a lot done. We cleared out the entirety of these long borders here, moved the Grinch mountain and put that over into a new Grinch mountain over there of leaves. But yeah, we were talking about it. It just feels like we can finally see the ground again. And Bert was saying, because we've had such full borders this year, we haven't seen the ground in a really long time. And then when the leaves started covering it as things were dying back, yeah, it's just been a really long time since we've seen the ground. And it's nice to see it. It's nice to see the soil. So yeah, we have some, there's continuous work to do. I don't know if you could tell, but you can probably tell from the borders as we were cleaning up, more leaves were falling. So it is just a sort of continuous thing. But throughout our borders, we like to leave up things like the sedum. I think they look really, really beautiful. I mean, if they're falling over and stuff like that, we'll cut them back. But, they stay up pretty well. Sedum and yarrow or achillea, they stay up really, really well. And these beautiful little mats of, I just kind of popped those down. Sorry, it doesn't look as pretty. But those little mats look really, really gorgeous with some snow on them, or kissed with frost. And then we have our kale, purple kale that's still up, which is funny because it looks more and more purple as the season, as it gets cooler and cooler. So that's kind of cool. And some of you might be thinking, why don't you just cut everything back? That's going to make it feel so much cleaner. The thing is that because we have, 7 months of no green at all, I really like to leave things as long as possible. So there's this sort of slow, steady process of removing what we have to, and then leaving what we can, and then slowly kind of shifting over the garden as we go. But anyway, let me keep going. Oh, this rose arbor, I forgot to mention, I did cut that back. So in the back of the borders, we're just getting everything ready so that we can mulch and put bulbs down. So yeah, I mean, it's so funny what's still looking nice. The salvias are starting to look a little tired, but we still have some echinacea that's blooming. Some of you who have things that are actually still properly in bloom are probably like, that all looks dead. But we're desperate. Bert transplanted this red twig dogwood, which you really can't see, but those stacked stones up there, can you see that? But he put those stacked stones right around the red twig dogwood, and we replaced that with a hydrangea, which I'll show you in a little bit. I divided some perennials. I have some Shasta daisies that I had in the front of the border this past year, and they're beautiful. But the second you get one of those really big May rains, oh my, they just are completely flattened. So I decided to put them a little bit farther back so we could still have those beautiful, wispy, very ethereal looking blooms, but just farther back in the border. And that way we can stake them up, they get really tall, and they would just be a nice little backdrop, especially as we have, you know, some bulbs, some roses starting to bloom, some foxgloves. I think that'll be really nice. Still haven't gotten the path done. You guys, we'll get to it. It'll happen eventually. We keep having different ideas about what we're gonna do. Let me come over this way. So we raked here and the leaves are still coming, but we transplanted this euphorbia. This is a beautiful euphorbia. It's not from our zone, so we're really hoping that we have another kind of mild winter so that this can stay. I did put some extra mulch down at the base, and maybe I'll continue to do that. Hey, little friend. He's making noise at us, that bird. But yeah, this euphorbia is gorgeous. It's a purple leaves and there's red in the center. It still looks incredible. It looks beautiful with the purple kale. And we did this one in a pot earlier in the year. And I just think it has the most beautiful zingy, you know, blooms in the spring. And it's just such a cool structure. They just look like slow fireworks. Very, very beautiful. So we planted this here and hopefully it survives. I'll keep you updated in the spring if you'd like. I transplanted a few more forget-me-nots from around. And then I think this area, we already have leaves filling it up, but I think this area looks so, so much better. Everything is cut back. It's really ready to start putting those spring bulbs in. So I think that's going to be fantastic. I decided to leave up certain things like these astilbe spires. I think those look really, really pretty. And just anything that's green or has leaves that smell good, like this Nepeta, left those up. Left those. Let's see. We cleaned up the porch bed, but it's kind of tricky to get in there. So I think we're going to probably do another pass of that when we do these borders over here. But I did want to bring you through and just show you where we planted the hydrangea. So this is what we'll be working on, hopefully in the next few days or week or so. We'll see when we get, you know, some snow. Probably want to do it before that. But when we were over here, we did start to clear out this bed, which we call the juniper bed. And yeah, we're hoping to maybe build another arbor here, maybe that matches our rose arbor, but still has that curved top, because I think that would be really, really pretty. But it does mean that we'll have to sort of figure out our clematis. And we didn't get around to clearing all of this, but that'll be in the next few days, hopefully. But we did. So we transplanted this red twig dogwood that was here, which it wasn't an ivory halo, but it was never happy. It was just not doing very well. So we decided to put it on the hill in the stacked stone wall, and we replaced it with this beautiful hydrangea. So I took a little video of the name of the hydrangea so you can see that. But yeah, I think that's the one here. It's like pollen ring or pinky pollen ring or something like that. But I think we finally discovered what this hydrangea was, which we didn't have a name for it all these years. And I thought it was an invincibelle, but I think that, yeah, we finally have the answer. And so hopefully these will be even one day. And it'll just be this like little arbor flanked by two beautiful hydrangeas. This hydrangea is just one of my favorites. I mean, I love the panicles and I love macrophyllus and things like that, but this one is just, it's so woodland, it's so whimsical, has this very delicate lacy feel to it. You know, it's like that lace cap, but it's just this beautiful ring around it. And the pollinators go crazy. So pollen ring or something like that fits it perfectly because it's got this ring of flowers, and then it's just the umbellifer with the pollen right in the center. And honestly, all year long when you walk by, it's like, you feel like the ground is vibrating when you walk past this because there's so many pollinators. So that's a fantastic one. And then, yeah, there's just so much to do. You know, deciduous woodland, there's just so many trees all around, you know, all up the mountain. And when the wind blows, they come all the way over. So it's a lot to do and a quite a big feat. But I'm very, very happy with the work that we did. So let me walk you through one more time. So yeah, we left up some of the annuals. I think we're gonna come through and kind of put in tulips a little bit farther back so we don't have to worry as much about the foliage. And then in the front, I think we're gonna do some more earlier bulbs along the front. I think that'll be really, really nice. We're gonna leave up the salvia for as long as we can. We're gonna leave, you know, all of the annuals and everything until we absolutely have to pull them, just so we can have a little bit of that greenery. This lamb's ear this stachys here, is so amazing. It's super easy to clean up. The dead leaves, you can just sort of pull them out, tease them out, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it stays green for so much of the year. I love it. And then over here, you know, we still do have like some little blooms peeking out, but yeah, I feel so good. I mean, the difference between this border and that border is pretty huge. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, let me show you the little wreath I made. So this was the little wreath that I made. It's pretty small, but there's some wisteria over there, and I thought it was just kind of a nice thing to do while the wisteria is still really pliable and bendy, because usually when you're making wreaths like this, you have to soak the vines, and this way I didn't have to do that. So that's really cool. And it did have a few little tendrils. So I think that'll be fun just to use this as a wreath form for Christmas wreaths. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or your night, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Happy gardening, or whatever you're doing this time of year. Bye.